My name is Patricia Thompson, and this is my story. Well, I began my career in construction law, and that began because of a fluke. In law school, I needed to fill my schedule with one more class, and the only one that fit was something called mortgages and suretyship. When I was hired at my first law firm, they could not believe that I understood something as arcane as suretyship, so they immediately put me in the construction practice group, despite the fact that I was the first woman they hired, and construction was and still is a male-dominated field. I loved it, and I thrived, and I continue to do construction to this day. Some of my favorite memories as a trial attorney for 40 years come from the courtroom. There is such drama. Of course, I loved it when we won, but I also often think back to cross-examining key witnesses, to coming to tears in my closing argument, to the joy of my first appellate argument before the Florida Supreme Court when I was just an associate. And I also remember every loss I should have won. In truth, that shaped me to love the process of resolving disputes. I care about how you do it. I care about doing it well and fairly because I know how important the disputes are to counsel and the parties. In my first year of practice, I was essentially ordered to attend an American Bar Association meeting in New York. It was about construction law. I didn't want to go, and I didn't particularly appreciate that I was one of the few women there with hundreds of men. But several decades later, after several book chapters, speeches, and attending many more programs, I was the chair of the ABA organization that put on that annual program in New York. And in the process, I made many friends across the country. I started the women's group in that organization. It started very small. I very gently required that all of the programs the committee put on would be diverse. That committee won diversity awards for years as a result of some of the activities that I and others who felt the same as I did about activities in the ABA that promoted women and minorities. I appointed young lawyers to positions of responsibility and gave them opportunities to speak. I went out of my way to welcome new attendees to programs, especially young women, because just as people were so kind to me, I wanted to make this organization a place where new and young people felt welcome and could flourish. I think that the self-confidence that I got and the friends that I made in that organization shaped me and have helped me in my career in countless ways. If I could offer any advice to anybody about how to succeed in an organization, I would say, do what you can to further the goals of that organization, but also go out of your way to meet and make friends and to promote them, support them, and you will find that they do the same for you. If I were to offer any advice to those who are wondering how they might get along in the practice of law, I would say, associate yourself with people who are kind, who are honest, and who will be willing to help you. And then try to act exactly the same way to those you work with. Work hard, learn something that's a niche, something that nobody else around you knows how to do nearly as well as you. Because when you become indispensable, when you prove yourself reliable, then you can reach levels of success that you would not have imagined. If I were to choose a quotation that would at least partially sum up my life, I would choose a word of advice from Charles Spurgeon, who said, "With perseverance, even the snails made it unto the ark." That's the end of his quote, but I would add, although they probably had a little help. I'm Patricia Thompson. I am really very proud to be a mediator and arbitrator with JAMS.